After over 210 years of unification, the United Kingdom is looking shaky. An independence referendum in 2014 saw Scots questioning whether or not to decapitate a kingdom, and the Brexit vote of 2016 began unpicking the seams of an already worn stitch between the four united countries. As politics reaches a boiling point between the four lands, we have to wonder if the future of the United Kingdom might well be in jeopardy. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that thinks every question is worth asking. For many of us who hail from that corner of the earth, today's question is particularly prevalent as we ask, what if the United Kingdom split up? Of course, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys to hit that thumbs up button and leave us a comment telling us what you think would happen if the UK split. Following the shock Brexit decision in 2016, the divide in the United Kingdom has never been so apparent. Scotland, Wales and England all share a landmass of an island, and the three were officially unified in 1701. What is now Northern Ireland has been part of the mix since 1801 with the Act of Union with Ireland. Since then, the UK grew to one of the biggest global colonists and then shrank right back down again. If the United Kingdom were to split, many would argue it would be a regression. When nations across the world declare independence, it is usually a cause for celebration. However, this would not likely be the case for the breakup of the UK and the re-emergence of England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales as independent states. While in the long run, I'm sure that the countries would find their own identities as smaller nations, in the short term, a lot of areas of business and the economy would be in absolute chaos. A breakup of the UK would mean more than just the retirement of the Union Jack flag, and also a new passport colour for each nation. Each country would need to decide what currency they were going to use, how they were going to manage their share of the national debt, and what they were going to do about healthcare. Indeed, a split of the United Kingdom could mean a breakup of the beloved NHS. First and foremost though, the countries would need to establish their own autonomous governments. Whilst England, Scotland and Wales do have their own government arms, at the moment, Northern Ireland doesn't really, which could cause a big problem if the country was looking for independence amid the breakup. Of course, the most likely outcome from a split of the UK would be a unified Ireland, something that Sinn Féin have wanted for some time, along with many people both sides of the Irish border. Northern Ireland has a population of just 1.81 million and would be a country the size of Latvia if they went it alone. In the most likely outcome, Northern Ireland would join the Republic, making a collective population of over 6.5 million. In turn, it is likely they would relinquish the pound, adopt the euro and join the European Union as part of a wider Ireland. The Republic already has a good established healthcare system, and it is likely the focus for now on a unified Ireland would be on how to grow together and rebond. Across the waters in Scotland, things may be slightly more difficult. The majority of Scotland voted to remain in the European Union, so it is likely that the country would want to stay as an independent nation. That being said, the EU is wary of sucker states, and Scotland would need to prove itself as economically viable. Currently, Scotland's biggest economy is oil, but the oil fields have been a joint venture within the United Kingdom, which could cause some tension. On top of the oil issue, the United Kingdom's nuclear weapons are housed in Scotland. Speaking of tension, a breakup of Scotland and England could revive an age-old rift between the two countries. Presumably, the northern country would be pushed away from using the pound sterling. Nonetheless, Scottish pride and perseverance would render the Scotch willing to try going it alone as a country with a population of 5.2 million, so similar to that of New Zealand. Moving on to the biggest of the four nations, England makes up 85% of the population of the UK with over 53 million people, so this is a country around the size of South Africa and South Korea in terms of population. The English economy is the biggest by far in the UK, and it is likely that England would retain use of the pound. Whether or not it still had a value remains to be seen. The main struggle for the UK, as by far the big brother nation, would be retaining already established power, such as the default seat in the United Nations, and deciding what to do with the NHS, which depending on the government could collapse under admin chaos. Another possible collapse could come from the monarchy, who would be truly devastated by a split, with their significance totally undermined. Of course, the English mainly voted to leave the EU, so they'd probably have to see that through with uncertain times ahead. So, what of Wales, who also wanted to leave Europe? What of the population of just over 3 million? Well, they voted with a majority of 52% to leave the EU, but could they make it alone as a country with a population size of Mongolia? I suspect England and Wales would want to continue to be close allies, and they may well be able to keep the pound sterling. Wales does have the Welsh Assembly to govern, but depending on when a breakup took place, they may not be politically and economically ready to deal with the strain of full independence. nations. Regarding a split, I personally think that we're better together, but we'll see. Whatever happens, the four nations have a geographical proximity and a history that binds them if a split did occur. Basically, they couldn't really escape one another, nor would it be wise to. So that is an absolutely mammoth question. Obviously, this question is very complicated and involves a lot of guesswork. We could probably make a Life's Biggest Questions video for each country asking how they could survive alone. For now though, let me know what you think to this question. Also be sure to leave a thumbs up and make sure you stay subscribed for more big answers. For now, I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but in the meantime, be sure to stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.